Exclusive contract with Feilu Novel Network Novel. City. Me. National Talent Trainer Fang Yuan has been awarded the National Talent Trainer System. From that moment on, he decided to cultivate talents for the country. The talent that the country needs is its training goal. What? Does the country need chip talents? I'll cultivate it. What? Does the country need mathematical talents? I'll cultivate it. What? Does the country need research talents? I'll cultivate it. What? Does the country need Go talents? I'll cultivate it. What? Does the country need scumbags? No. The country doesn't need it. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. You still don't believe me, seeking collection and seeking. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Xia Guo. Haizhou. Office of 581 Group of the Ministry of Special Talents of the People's Republic of China. This is a talent selection group established by the Ministry of Special Talents of the People's Republic of China in Haizhou. The purpose of this group is to select various special talents for the country in Haizhou, including technology innovation leaders, technology entrepreneurship leaders, philosophy and science leaders, teaching masters, young top talents, and so on. At this moment, team leader Li Guiyu is sitting at his desk, looking down at something. He has a Chinese-style face, thick eyebrows and big eyes, and a dignified expression. A female staff member in her 20s and 40s, dressed in a black suit and pants, with a white shirt underneath and a ponytail tied on her head, walked into the office with a delicate and beautiful appearance. Team leader, this is the latest talent information. She walked up to Li Guiyu and handed him a document. Yu Sha. Sit down. Li Guiyu looked up, took the document, and gestured for Yu Sha to sit on the nearby sofa. He lowered his head and began to carefully read the document in his hand. The atmosphere in the office has calmed down. Talent ID. 9979-inch, name. Fang Yuan, age. 24 years old, education. Bachelor's degree, occupation. Just graduated 3 months ago, currently unemployed, hometown. Haizhou, speciality. Cultivation, name. Fang Zhongtian, kinship. Father, education. High school, age. 52 years old, occupation. Employee of Haizhou Machine Tool Factory, hometown. Haizhou, name. Zhang Qin, kinship. Mother, education. High school, age. 49 years old, occupation. Employee of Haizhou Printing Factory, hometown. Haizhou, a very ordinary family of 3 refers to a very ordinary working family in Xia country. If you look at this document, there is nothing worth noting at all. However, Li Guiyu did not show any impatience and carefully read the entire document word by word. This side is far away. I didn't see anything special about him. Is this the talent you recommended? Then he placed the documents on the table and looked up at Yu Sha. Of course, Yu Sha has also read the file and knows that the content on the file is very ordinary. He was not recommended by me. He submitted his resume on our talent selection website. He should be considered to have volunteered. Yu Sha said to Li Guiyu. It looks very average. Cross out this name. I don't think he's a special talent. Li Guiyu shook his head, ready to continue looking at the other materials in his hand. Team leader. In his self-introduction, Fang Yuan said that he can cultivate talents for the country. He can cultivate talents with an IQ of over 140. Yu Sha did not leave and added a calm expression. Li Guiyu's hand paused. IQ 140. His face showed a surprised expression, which was already considered a genius level. Currently, human intelligence is divided into several levels. Genius is above 140. Supernormal between 130 and 139. Excellent between 120 and 129. The upper middle is between 110 and 119. Moderate between 90 and 109. The middle and bottom are between 80 and 89. The lag is between 70 and 79. Low energy below 70. Does Fang Yuan have such cultivation ability? Li Guiyu is a bit skeptical in his heart. Most people's intelligence is innate and needs to be improved through nurture, which is not an ordinary difficulty. Team leader. I hope to conduct an experiment to test his abilities. Since we are selecting talents for the country, we should not stick to any particular style. If Fang Yuan has such ability, we will make a big mistake. Yu Sha is an extremely serious staff member who advises Li Guiyu. The reason why she handed over Fang Yuan's information to Li Guiyu is that she did not want the country to miss any special talents. Okay then. You can develop this experiment. I want to see the results. Li Guiyu thought for a moment and finally agreed. Fang family. A handsome young man stood by his own window. Fang Yuan is waiting for the phone. He has actually contacted a training school. If he still doesn't receive a call from the National Ministry of Special Talents today, he will prepare to go to the training school for classes first. At least in terms of work, he is not worried. With his abilities, he can easily cultivate those elementary school students. Think of it here. Fang Yuan opened his system panel in his mind. Host. Fang Yuan Trainer Level. LV1 Trainer Skills. Genius Trainer Points. 0 System Mall. Not currently open, points reaching 10,000 are open. He obtained the National Talent Training Teacher System 3 days ago. Fang Yuan used to read online novels and knew the benefits of the system. But as soon as the system found him, he also felt a bit skeptical. Later, he opened the beginner's gift package and obtained his first trainer skill, the Genius Trainer. At that moment, Fang Yuan had no further doubts. Almost instantly, he realized that his mind had a vast collection of talent cultivation materials, as well as all the knowledge from elementary school to university. He had actually forgotten some of the knowledge from elementary school to university, and now he found himself knowing everything and mastering it all. Besides, he is now familiar with various educational methods around the world. There are currently 6 major education laws. The first one is the Genius Education Act from country.The. Carl Witt is a teacher in the village of Locke near Halle in country.The, and he has unique insights into education. He believed that the education of genius must start at the same time as the dawn of human intelligence, and apply his own theories to his son, making him a legendary genius. In 1818, he wrote the book, The Education of Carl Witt, which is the earliest literature in the world to discuss genius education. His educational philosophy is hailed as a model of genius education by later generations. The second is the Nature Education Law from M-Country's Stina. Stina is a grammar professor at the University of Pittsburgh in Pennsylvania, M-Country, and graduated from Radcliffe Women's University. She advocates cultivating individuals according to their own habits using natural methods and has achieved remarkable results. In 1914, she wrote the book M.S. Sterna's Natural Education. The third is the Special Education Law of Montessori in Italy. The fourth is the Talent Education Law of Suzuki Gini from our country. The fifth is the Practical Education Method from our country.The. Hui. The sixth is the Appreciation Education Method from Zhou Hong of the Xia dynasty. Fang Yuan suddenly realized that he was now full of confidence in cultivating talents. This is also the reason why he self-submitted his resume to the National Ministry of Special Talents, so he can be considered a special talent. Just look. Will the country value him? Just then, the phone rang. Mr. Fang Yuan. I am Yu Sha, a staff member of the 581 group of the National Ministry of Special Talents. We have received your resume, and as you are different from other special talents, we will be developing an assessment experiment for you. On the phone, there came a pleasant female voice. Fang Yuan listened to the phone, his mouth slightly curled up. Assessment experiment. National Ministry of Special Talents. You still don't believe me. P.S. New book upload. This is a wonderful story, and you won't be disappointed. Everyone is looking for collectibles, flowers, and reviews. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 2. Saw a glimmer of hope, seeking collectibles and freshness. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. We have received your resume, and as you are different from other special talents, we will be developing an assessment experiment for you. Yu Sha said from afar. Agree. On the phone, there was a faint voice, not even asking how to conduct the assessment experiment. This is a somewhat arrogant person. Yu Sha has not seen Fang Yuan yet. Her pretty face was filled with curiosity, pursing her lips. I want to see if you have real talent. To be honest. Although she spoke so confidently in front of the team leader Li Guiyu just now, she didn't really believe it in her heart. She couldn't believe what Fang Yuan would do to cultivate an ordinary person into a talent with an IQ of over 140. However, since the other party agrees to conduct the assessment experiment, we need to accelerate our own pace. I have already contacted the location of the assessment experiment. Are you in Haizhou? When are you available? Yu Sha had a quick ability to handle things, and an hour later, she called Fang Yuan again. I am in Haizhou and have time at any time. On the other side of the phone, there was still a faint voice. Please give me the address. I'll pick you up. Yu Sha took note of Fang Yuan's address and immediately went to pick him up. Fang Yuan met Yu Sha at his own home. Yu Sha glanced at the Fang family, which was a very ordinary working-class family with mediocre living conditions, indicating a frugal lifestyle. Are you staying here? Yu Sha looked at Fang Yuan, and her suspicion grew even more. Can special talents emerge in such an environment? Although Fang Yuan looked quite sunny and handsome in her eyes, she didn't notice any difference. This place is quite good. Fang Yuan is quite satisfied with living here. Anyway, this is my own home. At this moment, he is alone at home and both his parents have gone to work. He glanced slightly at Yu Sha, who was 20.4 or 5 years old but very beautiful. If the maximum score for appearance is 100, then appearance can be given a score of 90. Let's go. Yu Sha and Fang Yuan chatted a few words, and then they set off. A domestically produced car drove out of an old residential area in Haizhou. Where is the location of this assessment? Fang Yuan sat in Yu Sha's car and asked. I thought you wouldn't ask. Yu Sha thought to herself. Haizhou 5th Middle School. But she still answered one sentence. Haizhou No. 5 Middle School. Fang Yuan knows this high school, which is a regular high school in Haizhou. Compared to several key high schools in Haizhou, Haizhou No. 5 High School has achieved average results in the college entrance examination in recent years and has been criticized by the Education Bureau several times. What is the specific assessment? Fang Yuan asked again. We will conduct experiments in our 3rd year of high school. You have 10 days for cultivation. In 10 days, we will conduct a performance evaluation. Yu Sha set assessment tasks for Fang Yuan that she deemed difficult. It is definitely difficult to cultivate a group of high school students within 10 days and significantly improve their intelligence. The improvement of students' intelligence will definitely lead to a significant improvement in their corresponding learning abilities. For students, exam scores are undoubtedly the best way to prove their ability improvement. Fang Yuan needs to present impressive results in the exam 10 days later to prove his ability to cultivate talents for the country. 10 days. Fang Yuan pondered for a moment. He is now a genius trainer, and he knows very well how much time it takes to cultivate a genius. 10 days may not be enough for others, but it is already enough for him. What's going on? No way. Yu Sha suddenly stepped on the brake. If Fang Yuan cannot reach it, she may directly send him home, and this assessment will be declared invalid. I was thinking that the school would agree to you doing this. Fang Yuan didn't expect her to react so strongly. You will know then. Yu Sha released the brake and pressed the accelerator again, but she didn't explain much. Fang Yuan saw the situation and didn't ask again. Anyway, he was about to see the people from the school. Haizhou 5th Middle School. Principal Guo Yanhai received Yu Sha and Fang Yuan in the office. Guo Yanhai is not yet 60 years old, but his hair has turned gray, indicating that he has been under a lot of pressure in recent years. He can actually retire now, but for some reason, he still insists on sitting in the position of principal. He hopes to see the rise of Haizhou No. 5 Middle School, but this hope seems to be slim before he retires. But today, Guo Yanhai seemed to see a glimmer of hope for the emergence of a new force in Haizhou 5th Middle School. The National Ministry of Special Talents will conduct an experiment at Haizhou No. 5 Middle School to cultivate a group of students with an IQ of 140 or above. When Guo Yanhai first received the phone call, he almost couldn't believe his ears. If his IQ reached 140, it would be within the realm of genius. This is not about cultivating one, but about cultivating a group. With such a group of talented students, why worry about not breaking through in the college entrance examination? Perhaps it will shock the entire Haizhou, and the reputation of Haizhou No. 5 Middle School will naturally attract outstanding students to join. This is a rare opportunity for Haizhou No. 5 Middle School to rise, and he must seize it. This made Guo Yanhai abandon his original caution and boldly agree to the requirements of the Ministry of Special Talents to conduct assessment experiments at Haizhou No. 5 Middle School. Of course, only he himself knows the intense ideological changes involved. Principal Guo, hello, this is what I mean by Fang Yuan. Yu Sha introduced Fang Yuan to Guo Yanhai, and of course she knew Guo Yanhai herself. Guo Yanhai looked at Fang Yuan, who was a very young and handsome young man who surprised him a bit. Can such a young person fulfill the hope of Haizhou No. 5 Middle School's rise? Principal Guo, hello. Fang Yuan's expression remained calm and he nodded to greet Guo Yanhai. Xiaofang, do you mind if I call you that? Do you really have special abilities? Can you really cultivate students with an IQ of 140 or above? Guo Yanhai had to ask cautiously. Principal Guo, please believe me. Since I'm here, we are already ready. The answer given by Fang Yuan was full of confidence. He is now a genius cultivator. Cultivating several students with an IQ of 140 or above is the easiest thing to do. I'll give you this opportunity. I established a genius experimental class separately in my 3rd year of high school. 30 high school seniors have been arranged to participate in the experiment, and you are fully responsible for cultivating the students in the experimental class. Guo Yanhai saw Fang Yuan with confidence, and he ultimately made up his mind. This is best. Fang Yuan nodded and gathered the students in one class, which would definitely be more convenient for him to cultivate. I agree. Yu Sha also nodded. She will eventually compare the grades of the genius experimental class with other high school seniors. This kind of performance comparison can make it clear to everyone at a glance, and everyone can also judge Fang Yuan's special abilities based on it. Now, there's only one last challenge left. This needs you to solve it. Guo Yanhai looked far away. What problem? On Fang Yuan's face, there seemed to always be a calm expression. You need to persuade. These 30 high school seniors are preparing to participate in the experiment, including their parents. P.S. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation on the first day of a new book, grades are very important. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 3. They will be the best geniuses. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Haizhou 5th Middle School. In a large conference room. 30 high school seniors and their parents are sitting there. Both parents and students felt a bit confused in their eyes. The school said it was going to hold a senior high school parent-teacher meeting, but only a small number of people came here. A few parents started talking. The school doesn't say it's a parent-teacher meeting, why are there so many people? I'm also wondering, in the past, parent-teacher meetings used to have over 200 people. My child's grades are poor, isn't the school trying to give up on my child? I don't think so. My child's grades are in the top 20 in the third year of high school. This is really enviable. Your child's grades are really good. Ah. This is just a comparison at Haizhou No. 5 Middle School. Compared to the whole city, my child is considered inferior. If you say that, my child cannot compare. The parents were chatting, and there was a handsome and bald male parent sitting below who was very eye-catching. But no one knows that bald male parents have words of suffering in their hearts. Other children are all sprinting towards the end, but their children have no hope at all. During his 3 years in high school, his child's grades were consistently poor. If you want to get into college with such grades, you won't be able to do it until the sun rises from the west. He looked around and saw several parents with the same bitter expression as him. The children of these parents also have poor grades. College entrance examination. For their children. Participating or not participating is actually the same thing. Some parents are worried, and students are also whispering. Zhengming, what did the school ask us to do when you said we had a parent-teacher meeting? Wu Zhen, don't ask me, I don't know. I have some gossip here. I heard that the school is going to have a big move. What big move? I haven't found out the specific information yet, but the students who came here today were all personally designated by the principal. How could this be? How could the principal designate me to participate? I'm not a good student. Believe it or not, you'll know later. 2 male students were whispering, and one of them seemed to know something, showing off the information he had heard. At this moment, the door to the conference room was pushed open, and Principal Guo Yanhai led Fang Yuan and Yusha into the room. Guo Yanhai walked onto the stage and picked up the microphone. Hello parents, my name is Guo Yanhai. I have good news for everyone. The parents in the audience listened and began to look up one after another. The bald male parent and several parents with poor grades also looked up at the stage. Good news. What good news? The school is preparing to establish a high school senior genius experimental class, which is also an opportunity to help students' academic performance soar. We have selected 30 students to participate in a 10-day experiment, but ultimately it is up to you to decide whether or not to participate. Next, let's invite teacher Fang Yuan to introduce him. He will serve as the homeroom teacher for the experimental class. Guo Yanhai continued to speak to the parents in the audience. He selected a portion of students with good grades, a portion with average grades, and a portion with poor grades, each accounting for 1/3. Some parents below heard this with a loud bang and started discussing it again. The college entrance examination is about to take place. What genius experimental class should be established at this time? Isn't this nonsense at school? What is the school thinking about, preparing to experiment with my child? My child won't participate, so I'll stay in the original class. My family is the same, I wouldn't take my child out for an experiment. Fang Yuan listened to everyone's discussion and walked onto the stage. Hello parents, I am Fang Yuan. Let me introduce the Genius Experimental Class. The purpose of this Genius Experimental Class is to cultivate a group of students with an IQ of over 140. He nodded to the audience and began the introduction. The audience suddenly quieted down. Many parents, including students, raised their heads in shock. Did they hear you right? Cultivate a group of students with an IQ of 140 or above. Teacher Fang Yuan. Did I hear you right? Do you want to cultivate students with an IQ of 140 or above? A chubby middle-aged female parent stood up with a little excitement. You heard me right, it's not a joke either. Fang Yuan's expression was very serious. Teacher Fang Yuan, have you ever conducted such an experiment before? The middle-aged female parent continued to ask. No. This is the first time. Fang Yuan said calmly. He only obtained the National Talent Training Teacher System 3 days ago, and it was impossible to conduct such experiments before. So you haven't had any successful experience before. The middle-aged female head of the family was immediately disappointed. It seems that the school really wants to treat my child as an experiment. Sorry, I cannot accept it. I cannot accept the school's approach. I need to take my child away, he will return to his original class for class. After saying these words, she left directly with her own child. She thinks it's a scam and she won't believe it. If it weren't for the upcoming college entrance examination, she would have wanted her child to transfer schools. Fang Yuan watched as the middle-aged female parent left the conference room, but he did not stop her. The experimental class is voluntary, and if he is unwilling to participate, he will not force it. He just continued to say to the following. You can take your child away like this parent did just now, but I still hope that the parents present here will consider it carefully. This is a rare opportunity. If your child joins the genius experimental class, they will have the opportunity to surpass others. Your child will probably encounter this once in their lifetime, and if they miss it, there won't be another time. Fang Yuan's words have caused some parents to ponder, but there are still some parents standing up one after another. These parents chose the same approach as middle-aged female parents and took their children away. They are unwilling to take risks and bury their children's future in the final stage of the college entrance examination. Fang Yuan expressed understanding and bid farewell to these parents and students with his gaze. 5 minutes later. There are only 15 parents and students left in the conference room, including the bald male parent. Bald male parents don't care if others are willing to take risks, but they are willing to take a risk. This is also an opportunity that has no chance. According to normal circumstances, his child will definitely not be able to get into college. Since that's the case, I'll trust Mr. Fang Yuan once. Maybe he can create miracles. To put it bluntly, even if we didn't create a miracle, my child didn't suffer much. He had no hope of getting into college. The bald male parents have this idea, and the remaining parents and students also have this idea. Let me ask again. Are there any parents downstairs who want to take their children away? Fang Yuan looked down at the audience. This time, no parents left. Guo Yanhai secretly conducted a count. All 10 students with the worst grades were retained, and there were 5 students with average grades. A student with average grades is probably looking to get into a good school, while no student with good grades stayed behind. Fang Yuan's voice began to faint again. So, parents who stayed behind, from now on, your children will be handed over to me. What I can assure everyone is that he will be the best genius. P.S. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation on the first day of a new book, grades are very important. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 4. Are you sure or not? Seeking collections and flowers. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. What I can assure you is that they will be the best geniuses. Fang Yuan's words were spoken not only to the parents present, but also to the students present. However, currently, not many students believe his words. That's all for today. Tomorrow. The Genius Experimental class is officially in class. Fang Yuan finally said to everyone. Parents and students left the conference room. Xiao Fang. Should I find a few more good students to come over? You can talk to them again. Guo Yanhai walked over and wanted to help Fang Yuan add a few more students. No need, these students are already enough. Fang Yuan shook his head and refused. 15 students are enough to prove their ability to cultivate talents for the country, unless otherwise required by the Ministry of Special Talents. From now on, the door of the Genius Experimental class has been closed. Yusha didn't speak, she clearly had no other requests, she had been observing Fang Yuan. This person is very calm and seems confident in their own abilities. Having confidence is a good thing, and I hope you can prove yourself. Yusha has great expectations from the other party. Haizhou 5th Middle School. The Genius Experimental class is officially announced to be established. Guo Yanhai subsequently convened a meeting with teachers from various subjects in his third year of high school and announced the news. This news has caused a huge uproar among high school seniors in various subjects, with almost no teachers optimistic about the Genius Experimental class. Is the school's decision too hasty? I'm not doubting the school. But can such an experiment start from the first and second year of high school? A senior high school teacher immediately opposed it. This teacher clearly believes that the experiment should not be conducted in the third year of high school. Of course, Guo Yanhai also wanted to start from the first and second year of high school, but this was an experiment conducted by the Ministry of Special Talents of the country, and he had no choice but to accept the other party's request. I think this is a good opportunity, especially for Haizhou No. 5 Middle School. Our college entrance examination results in recent years, I don't have to say, you know that schools are very difficult now. Parents no longer trust us, and students no longer trust us. We need a breakthrough, an unprecedented breakthrough. Guo Yanhai is still very patient and wants to persuade this teacher. At this point, he is already in a desperate battle and will never compromise. Principal Guo. I can understand the difficulties of the school. But I don't think it's reliable to put all the breakthroughs in the Genius Experimental class. That teacher is still unconvinced. But his voice became quieter, and he also felt a lot of pressure himself. The college entrance examination results of Haizhou No. 5 Middle School have indeed been poor in recent years. The teaching task for high school seniors is already heavy now. Our teachers are all working hard to improve students' grades. Now add another class, I can't teach my math class. Another math teacher said, he's not complaining, he's telling the truth. Teacher Lu is right, I can't teach English anymore. His words were echoed by other teachers. The same goes for Chinese language classes. Physics class. Chemistry class. Biology class. History class. Guo Yanhai convened teachers from various subjects in his third year of high school to coordinate the time for everyone to teach the Genius Experimental class. The teachers are saying this, he is a bit embarrassed. Should we force the teacher to teach the Genius Experimental class, and the effect will not be good? Fang Yuan sat next to Guo Yanhai, and he and Yusha also attended the meeting. He heard this and stood up, tapping on the table. Dear teachers. I am Fang Yuan, and also the head of the Genius Experimental class. Principal Guo didn't express himself clearly just now. The Genius Experimental class doesn't require everyone to share the teaching task. Fang Yuan didn't use the title of homeroom teacher, he thinks the person in charge is better. His words made the conference room suddenly quiet. What do you mean? The Genius Experimental class doesn't need us. So who will teach the students? An English teacher asked. Me. Fang Yuan provided the answer. Guo Yanhai and Yusha were taken aback, but Fang Yuan did not communicate with them beforehand. The original meaning was that Fang Yuan, as the homeroom teacher, did not include the teaching process. He was only responsible for cultivating students to achieve an IQ of 140 or above. Teacher Fang, you are very young. I haven't seen you before, could you introduce us to your teaching qualifications? The English teacher continued to ask. Me. Previously. I haven't been a teacher before. Fang Yuan shook his head and said calmly. What? Have you never been a teacher before? What are you joking about? The English teacher was suddenly shocked. She only asked Fang Yuan when she saw that Fang Yuan was young. But she didn't expect that Fang Yuan had no teaching qualifications at all. Teacher Fang, I shouldn't even call you teacher. Since you have never been a teacher before. So when you come to class, how can you ensure that you can teach the students well? The English teacher suddenly became impolite when speaking. Let's do this. I'll prove myself first. So you won't doubt it. Fang Yuan had long thought that the other party would ask like this. How do you prove yourself? The English teacher frowned. Teachers are free to set questions. If my grades are not good, it means I am not qualified to attend classes. I think I will give everyone a satisfactory score. Fang Yuan proposed a solution that everyone can accept. Anyway, we are about to face the college entrance examination, and everything is about grades. He used his grades to conquer these teachers and also used this method to prove his qualifications as a teacher. Principal Guo, can we do this? The English teacher asked Guo Yanhai. Guo Yanhai and Yusha exchanged a glance, and Yusha nodded. Fang Yuan has said so, and she won't object either. Sure. Guo Yanhai immediately nodded in agreement. He also wanted to see how confident Fang Yuan looked in his grades and whether the teachers would be satisfied. Let me do the Chinese questions. I happen to have a set of simulated college entrance examination questions here. A Chinese teacher was eager to try and said that his set of college entrance examination questions was quite difficult. I'll do the math problem. The math teacher just lifted his glasses. I'll take the English question. The English teacher who talks to Fang Yuan is not to be ignored. I'll take physics class. I'll take chemistry class. I'll take biology class. I'll take history class. Teachers have also taken on the task of setting questions for other subjects. Are you really going to take the exam? Guo Yanhai felt a bit worried when he saw this. If you fail the exam, this matter will be difficult to handle. He glanced at Fang Yuan. Teacher Fang. Are you really capable? P.S. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation on the first day of a new book, grades are very important. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 5. Is this proof sufficient? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Guo Yanhai was a bit worried about Fang Yuan, but he couldn't say that. Teachers in various subjects act quickly. Although they are setting questions, most of them have ready-made test papers in their hands. Less than 10 minutes. The exam papers for each subject were placed in front of Fang Yuan, with a thick stack and a strong determination to test Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan smiled and picked up his Chinese test paper, starting to answer questions on the spot in the conference room. The Chinese teacher who set the questions sat aside and personally supervised the exam. Fang Yuan's answering speed is very fast, and he is now proficient in various subjects. Answering questions for him is just a leisurely stroll. The tip of the pen lightly touched, and a pleasant rustling sound sounded on the test paper. The Chinese teacher looked at Fang Yuan with a bit of suspicion, writing at such a fast pace that he couldn't even do it himself. Perhaps Fang Yuan is young, but taking exams is not just about speed. Ultimately, it depends on accuracy. He calmed down for a moment and continued to wait. 40 minutes. Answer the Chinese test paper. The Chinese teacher took the test paper and began grading it. Correct, correct. Correct, correct. 6 consecutive questions without any errors. The Chinese teacher took a breath, looked up at Fang Yuan, and continued to grade. Fang Yuan didn't pay attention to his Chinese score, so he picked up his math paper again. Then there is the English test paper. Physics test paper. Chemistry test paper. Biology test paper. History test paper. The answer is over. Gui Yanhai and all the high school seniors and subject teachers who didn't attend classes gathered in the conference room, waiting for the subject teachers to announce Fang Yuan's scores. The Chinese score has been released. At this point, the Chinese teacher was the first to say, "What is the score?" Gui Yanhai asked. A full score of 150 points for Chinese language, and Fang Yuan scored 150 points in the exam. The Chinese teacher really wants to pick out Fang Yuan's mistakes, but he can't even pick out the most difficult essay. Fang Yuan's essay is already a model. If it weren't for being in the conference room now, he would have wanted to bring this essay back to the class and show it to the students. So high. The teachers of each subject took a breath of air, but now they are looking far away and their gaze is starting to differ. Such a high score, even the teachers present here cannot pass the exam. Mathematics has also come out. The math teacher then said, "How much?" A perfect score of 150 points in mathematics, and Fang Yuan scored 150 points in the exam. It's the sound of air conditioning again. Gui Yanhai was amazed that Fang Yuan's strength was already comparable to the top scorer in the National College Entrance Examination. Proof of facts. He was still underestimated by the other party. The teachers of each subject underestimated each other. Next, the results of various subjects will be announced one after another. A full score of 150 points in English, and Fang Yuan scored 150 points in the exam. A perfect score of 100 points in physics, Fang Yuan scored 100 points in the exam. A full score of 100 points in chemistry, Fang Yuan scored 100 points in the exam. The maximum score for biology is 100 points, and Fang Yuan scored 100 points in the exam. A perfect score of 100 points in history, Fang Yuan scored 100 points in the exam. The results of each subject were announced, and everyone in the conference room was shocked, all of whom received full marks. Such achievements can be considered groundbreaking. In history, the college entrance examination did not have such high scores. Even if all subjects are simulated college entrance examination questions, Fang Yuan's grades are still terrifyingly high. Is this proof enough? Fang Yuan looked at the teachers of various subjects calmly. No one spoke. Even the English teacher who questioned Fang Yuan the most powerful remained silent. Fang Yuan's grades far exceeded her expectations, and her lack of teacher qualifications does not represent anything. With his current strength, there is no problem in obtaining a teacher qualification certificate. Alright, all the teachers are here for the students. Xiaofang has already proven himself. Next, we need to see the performance of the genius experimental class. Gui Yanhai helped by saying something. Fang Yuan's surprise filled him with more expectations for the upcoming genius experimental class. The conference room is empty. Yu Sha also returned to the 581 group of the National Ministry of Special Talents. Team leader, I'm back. She walked into the team leader's office to report today's situation to Li Guiyu. How about the assessment experiment? Has it started yet? Li Guiyu looked up and saw that it was Yu Sha. He asked a question. He remembers Yu Sha going to assess that special talent named Fang Yuan. Tomorrow officially starts. The experimental location is set at Haizhou No. 5 Middle School, and a genius experimental class has been established. Fang Yuan will lead a group of students and spend 10 days proving his ability to cultivate talents. Yu Sha reported on the preliminary preparations. 10 days. Does the 5th Central Committee of Haizhou agree? We can conduct talent assessment experiments, but it cannot affect students' college entrance examination. Li Guiyu frowned, and Yusha's assessment experiment was very bold. We all underestimated Fang Yuan. The strength he has shown now. It's beyond my imagination. Yusha briefly introduced Fang Yuan's exam results today to Li Guiyu. She was too shocked to speak when she saw such a result at the time. Full marks for all subjects. Li Guiyu's body froze. He was indeed shocked upon hearing this. This Fang Yuan. Are they really special talents? You continue to do a good job of assessment and observation. He's just proving himself to be very capable now, but I haven't seen his abilities yet. He said that it is possible to cultivate talents with an IQ of over 140, and we should use this as the experimental evaluation standard. Li Guiyu thought for a moment, but still couldn't confirm Fang Yuan's ability, but his expression became serious. Since it is a special talent assessment, it must be very rigorous. Yes. Yusha nodded solemnly. The team leader is right, she cannot forget the true ability of the assessment team. Today's performance by Fang Yuan is truly impressive. Tomorrow, I will continue to observe his performance. Until the assessment is over. Fang Yuan was unaware that Yusha had already reported her situation to the leader of Group 581. He began to gain the attention of team leader Li Guiyu. He returned to his own home. It's almost 6 p.m. now. Mom Zhangqin has returned from work and is busy with the family's dinner in the kitchen. Mom. I'll help. Fang Yuan walked into the kitchen. We don't need you here. Go wash your hands and wait a little longer. When your dad comes back, dinner will be almost ready. Zhangqin didn't ask Fang Yuan for help. As long as she was there, she wouldn't let anyone else interfere with the family's work. Fang Yuan smiled and said, Mom, she will always be the busiest person in the family. He sat in the living room for a while, and his father Fang Zhongtian also went home from work. The family immediately sat at the dining table in the living room and began dinner. Son, how about going out today? Is there any news about work? Zhangqin still cares the most about her son. After all, Fang Yuan has been unemployed at home for 3 months, and she is more anxious than anyone else. I have found a job and it is still in the assessment period. Fang Yuan did not say that he was conducting an assessment experiment for the National Ministry of Special Talents. But this news has already made Dad and Mom happy. Since I have found a job. Then we need to work hard. Neither your mother nor I can help you, you need to be on your own. Fang Zhongtian looked up and said something to his son. I will. I promise. Fang Yuan nodded solemnly to his parents. He calmly looked out the window. Starting from tomorrow. No more people. Stop my footsteps. P.S. The grades of this book are very poor. I actually really want to continue writing, but there is no collection, no flowers, and very few reviews. Let's talk about our opinions. There shouldn't be many themes like Feilu. Please collect flowers and give feedback. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 6. You all must be punished, seeking collection and seeking. You are listening at novel full.audio. Time flies by quickly. In the blink of an eye, it was the next day. Fang Yuan arrived at Haizhou No. 5 Middle School and walked into the classroom arranged by the school for the Genius Experimental class. There are 15 students in the classroom, and there is also Yusha sitting in the last row. Her sole purpose here is to observe and record, and to truthfully report to the team leader what she sees and hears here. This is related to Fang Yuan's final assessment and evaluation. 15 students watched as Fang Yuan walked in, but no one spoke. Yesterday, they all attended the parent-teacher meeting with their parents. They all heard what Fang Yuan said, but these students actually didn't believe it. Genius. Is this coaxing children? We are not children, we are high school students. They are sitting here not to become geniuses with an IQ of 140, but to be forced by their parents. The parents at home don't care about so much. If they dare not come, then what awaits them at home is sports competitions. Men's singles. Women's singles. Mixed doubles. Who can bear it? They are almost forced to sit here. Fang Yuan noticed a few students with a somewhat rebellious gaze at him. He didn't care and picked up chalk to write his name on the blackboard. Fang Yuan. This is my name, you can call me Teacher Fang. From now on, within 10 days, I will be responsible for you. After finishing this sentence, he picked up the roster. Now I'll start calling the roll. Students who are called, please stand up. Let's get to know each other. Fang Yuan began to call the roll one by one. Zheng Ming. He gave his first name. No one answered. No one answered either. Under the stage, everything was quiet. Fang Yuan looked down at the podium, where 15 students were sitting. That Zheng Ming must be sitting under the stage, but he doesn't want to stand up or speak out. I allow you to not hear it for the first time. The second time you don't stand up. So you will be expelled and there will be no more seats for you in this class. Fang Yuan said a faint sentence. Zheng Ming. He quoted the name again. What are you doing? Go back and your dad will beat you to death. Don't be foolish. Wu Zhen sat in the back row and anxiously pushed Zheng Ming in secret. The two have the best relationship at school. Arrive. Zheng Ming finally stood up lazily this time. For him, the college entrance examination is actually very boring. If it weren't for his father's strict management, he wouldn't have wanted to sit in the classroom long ago. Sit down. Fang Yuan glanced at Zheng Ming and could tell that it was a thorn in the head. Wu Zhen. He called out the second name. Arrive. Behind Zheng Ming, a boy stood up and looked very sunny. Sit down. Fang Yuan said calmly, noticing the boy's small movements just now. Luo Xiaoyu. Arrive. A 17-year-old girl stood up. The girl has a beautiful appearance and is very beautiful. Her black and beautiful eyes are like a clear spring. Sit down. Li Rui. Arrive. Sit down. Zhang Tian. Arrive. Sit down. 15 students stood up one by one, and Fang Yuan was considered to have met his own students. Today's first class. It's a bottom-up exam. I want to know your current grades. He didn't prepare to attend class immediately, but instead took out his Chinese test paper. This is the exam paper prepared by Fang Yuan himself, which includes various knowledge points of Chinese language. Today, he brought it to the classroom. Teacher Fang. Zheng Ming suddenly raised his hand. What's going on? Fang looked at him from afar. Teacher Fang. You can actually check our grades. We all had it in our original class. Zheng Ming stood up again, he didn't want to take the exam. I don't look at the original grades. What I'm looking at now. Since you really enjoy learning, then you will send the Chinese test paper to everyone. Fang Yuan completely ignored his words. Zheng Ming's face turned pale with anger. Which of your eyes can tell that I enjoy learning? He really wants not to accept Fang Yuan's assignment, why should he let me work? But when I think of my family, I think of my father's terrifying military prowess. He could only reluctantly surrender and come forward to take the exam paper. His eyes glared at Fang Yuan, who seemed to enjoy torturing people. You only have 1 hour of time. Answer the questions and submit the paper in 1 hour. I will be punished if I am not satisfied. Fang Yuan seemed to have missed Ming's gaze. After he finished distributing the test paper, he immediately said, "An hour. Teacher Fang. We can't finish it." This time Ming became clever and didn't speak up, while the other students began to complain. There are still 59 minutes left. Fang Yuan remained indifferent and looked at the time. No one is talking now. The students began to bury their heads in answering questions, and no one wanted to be punished. They could probably tell that Teacher Fang would be quite strict with them, more so than any other teacher before. 1 hour. It passed quickly. Everyone put down their pens. Submit the paper. Those who are still writing will be punished. Fang Yuan said calmly on stage, without giving everyone an extra minute. 15 students did not object and put down their pens together. Although some people wanted to continue writing, they still put down their pen at the thought of being punished. Great. This is a good start. The first thing Fang Yuan needs to cultivate now is everyone's obedience. You, Ming. Collect everyone's papers and hand them over to me. Fang Yuan once again assigned someone to work, and this time it was Ming. Why is it me again? Ming is very unwilling. I forgot to say it earlier. The distribution and retrieval of Chinese language test papers in the future. You are responsible for everything. As if just remembering, Fang Yuan simply handed over the task of the Chinese test paper to Ming. This. Too domineering. Ming almost wanted to slam the door and leave. The distribution and retrieval of mathematics papers are the responsibility of Wu Zhen. Behind him, Wu Zhen was still giggling, and now he had turned into a bitter melon face. The distribution and retrieval of English test papers are the responsibility of Luo Xiaoyu. The distribution and retrieval of physics papers are the responsibility of Li Rui. The distribution and retrieval of chemistry test papers are the responsibility of Zhang Tian. Biology test paper. Political exam paper. History test paper. Geography test paper. Students who do not have the above tasks are responsible for classroom hygiene. Ming felt a little better listening to everyone having a task. Put it this way. This teacher Fang is not targeting me alone, but targeting everyone. His mood calmed down. Start collecting everyone's Chinese test papers. Fang Yuan did not continue the class and asked everyone to take a 10-minute break. He began on site grading of the exam papers. He took out a red pen and was very fast, almost at a glance, completing a test paper quickly. By the time everyone rested and returned to the classroom, Fang Yuan had already finished grading 15 Chinese test papers. So fast. All the students frowned. Teacher Fang, is he a monster? Fang Yuan waited for all the students to return to their seats before speaking. I have completed grading the Chinese test paper. From now on, I'm not satisfied with all of your grades. That is to say, you will all be punished. P.S. The grades are not ideal, please collect flowers and give feedback. Once again, I beg everyone. Qingming outing and happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 7. Our teacher is a demon, seeking collection and seeking. You are listening at novel full.audio. You will all be punished. Fang Yuan said calmly to 15 students. Punishment. What punishment? Everyone had a loud bang in their minds. Each of you. Run 4 laps around the playground. If you run less or slack off, I will add a penalty. Before everyone could react, Fang Yuan had already issued punishment measures. The playground runway of Haizhou No. 5 Middle School runs 400 meters in a circle. For laps is 1,600 meters. Teacher. My grades were already not good. If you let it take another hour to complete, it will definitely be even worse. A student disagrees. Congratulations. Your words. We have added 1 lap for everyone, and now each of you has to run 5 laps. Fang Yuan remained expressionless and increased everyone's distance to 2,000 meters. This demon. 15 students all cursed in their hearts. Everyone dare not speak anymore. Besides, it is estimated that demon teacher will increase the number of runway laps, which will be fatal. Dare to be angry but not speak up. What is being said is the current 15 students. Everyone had to go to the playground. Run. People under the eaves have to bow their heads. Teacher Fang is not satisfied, everyone will have bad luck. Fang Yuan is watching from upstairs. 15 students were running together on the playground, which immediately attracted the attention of students from other classes. Isn't this a genius experimental class student? It's not physical education class now, why are you running? Is this being punished? Puff. I was punished at the beginning of class today, how angry is it for the teacher? This is their own reason, right? A few people used to be in our class and their grades were outrageously poor. Our class also has that one, and that one, all of which are from our class. They used to rank last and second. Such students even go to the genius experimental class, and my big teeth are laughing out. If it were me, I would be stronger than them. Why don't you go? I'm not going. This genius experimental class is just a gimmick. Do you really think they're geniuses? I guess the school couldn't think of a good way to improve their grades, that's why they came up with such a bad idea. I want to see how many points they can get in 10 days. I don't have to look to know that most of them, out of 10, are at the bottom of our school's grades. 15 students gritted their teeth when they heard the discussions of students from other classes. This teacher, Fang, made everyone's face lose. Fortunately, the bell for class rang, and the students from other classes returned to their own classrooms. Playground runway. There are only 15 lonely figures running non-stop along the track. Circle it. 2 laps. 3 laps. After 4 rounds, everyone was sweating profusely. Fang Yuan did not urge this time, and only when the 15 students recovered after resting, did they return to the classroom. He took out the Chinese test paper again and asked Jingming to send it back to everyone. Each question on the test paper has been corrected, and everyone's scores have also been included. I just said I'm not satisfied with your grades. Now let me talk about the mistakes you made yourself. This is the first question. I don't understand how you made the wrong choice in reading such a simple modern text. Fang Yuan began to explain this Chinese language test paper. At the same time, the system sound rang out. Ding! The talent trainer skill has been activated. With the sound of the system, Fang Yuan looked at the students listening below. His mind is like a computer, automatically popping up rows of data. Name. Zhengming, age. 18 years old, IQ. 96, +1, score in the liberal arts college entrance examination. 202, +1, training progress. 1% name. Wu Zhen, age. 18 years old, IQ. 103, +1, score in the liberal arts college entrance examination. 321, +1, training progress. 1% name. Luo Xiaoyu, age. 17, IQ. 118, +1, science college entrance examination score. 521, +1, training progress. 1% name. Li Rui, age. 18 years old, IQ. 99, +1, score in the liberal arts college entrance examination. 281, +1, training progress. 1% name. Zhang Tian, age. 18, IQ. 107, +1, science college entrance examination score. 480, plus 1, training progress. 1% a Chinese test paper, Fang Yuan finished in 40 minutes. He looked at the system panel in his mind. Students have different IQs, their grades improve differently, and their training progress also varies. Name: Zhengming, age: 18 years old, IQ: 98, score in the liberal arts college entrance examination. 240, training progress. 3% Name: Wu Zhen, age: 18, IQ: 105, liberal arts college entrance examination score. 350, training progress. 4% Name: Luo Xiaoyu, age: 17, IQ: 125, science college entrance examination score. 540, training progress. 8% Name: Li Rui, age: 18 years old, IQ: 101, score in the liberal arts college entrance examination. 310, training progress. 5% Name: Zhang Tian, age: 18, IQ: 112, science college entrance examination score. 495, training progress. 6% Zhengming improved his grades the fastest, scoring 38 points, ranking first in the class. The person with the fastest improvement in IQ was Luo Xiaoyu, who increased from 118 to 125, becoming an excellent level. Other students have also made progress and improvement, but Fang Yuan is not in a hurry. This is just the beginning. He looked at 15 students, but they were not aware of the changes they had undergone. Fang Yuan immediately took out his math test paper. This is also the exam paper he prepared himself, which includes various knowledge points in mathematics. Wu Zhen. Can you send the math papers to everyone? He named Wu Zhen. Okay. Wu Zhen doesn't have as many questions as Zhengming. Let me post them, and I'll do it. You only have 1 hour of time. Answer the questions and submit the paper in 1 hour. I will be punished if I am not satisfied. The test paper was handed out to everyone, and Fang Yuan's request immediately spread to everyone's ears. Another hour. Everyone's eyes narrowed. Everyone has become smarter this time, hurry up and do the exercises. Mathematics is actually more difficult than Chinese because it requires calculations and a lot of time. It's really difficult to finish in an hour. But all students can only grit their teeth. 1 hour later, Wu Zhen retrieved the math paper and handed it over to Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan asked everyone to take a break and grade the test paper on .site at an extremely fast speed again. Luo Xiaoyu is a bit calm. She thinks she can answer math better than Chinese. Teacher Fang won't punish me this time, will she? Although she thought so in her heart, she was still a bit uneasy. Unfortunately, her worries eventually turned into reality. I have completed grading the math paper. All of you still haven't satisfied me with your grades. That is to say, you will all be punished. Fang Yuan's demonic voice. It's ringing again. P.S. For collection, for flowers, for reviews, please everyone, a book without grades cannot be written down. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 8. The first day of the Genius Experimental Class, Seeking Collection. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. 15 students from the Genius Experimental Class. Returning to the playground again, the punishment I received this time was still running 5 laps around the playground. It was originally 4 laps, in Fang Yuan's words, since you can run 5 laps, then 5 laps would be good. Devil. 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 This time, all 15 students cursed 3 times in their hearts. But I have to run if I should. Everyone was once again surrounded by students from other classes. Puff. I'm not mistaken, did the students in the genius experimental class run again? I must have been punished again, my goodness, the teacher in this class is so scary. Blaming teachers is better than blaming oneself. They must have made their own mistakes. This is only the first day, I calculated that there are still a full 9 days left. Their days are so unbearable. I'm really glad I didn't join the genius experimental class now, otherwise I would have been dragged down by them. I also attended the parents' meeting at that time, but fortunately my mother was wise and didn't allow me to join. How useless are these students really? There is as much waste as there is, and their lives will always be so waste. 15 students once again experienced the rain of ridicule from everyone, with no one speaking and only running desperately, trying to forget these voices. Return to the classroom again. Fang Yuan took out his math paper and asked Wu Zhen to send it back to everyone. Just like the Chinese language test, each question on the math test has also been corrected and everyone's scores have been evaluated. I was just talking about Chinese. Next, let me talk about your mathematical problems. This is the first question. Some people have answered such simple multiple-choice questions incorrectly. How did you learn it in your 3 years of high school? Fang Yuan began explaining the math paper. Ding! Genius Cultivator Skill Activation. It took Fang Yuan 40 minutes to complete a math test paper. He looked at the system panel in his mind. Name. Zhengming, age. 18 years old, IQ. 100, score in the liberal arts college entrance examination. 270, training progress. 5% name. Wu Zhen, age. 18 years old, IQ. 107, score in the liberal arts college entrance examination. 370, training progress. 6% name. Luo Xiaoyu, age. 17, IQ. 128, science college entrance examination score. 550, training progress. 9% name. Li Rui, age. 18 years old, IQ. 103, score in the liberal arts college entrance examination. 330, training progress. 7% name. Zhang Tian, age. 18, IQ. 113, science college entrance examination score. 505, training progress. 7% the intelligence and grades of the students have improved again. Fang Yuan took out his English test paper again. This is also the exam paper he prepared himself, which includes various knowledge points of English. Luo Xiaoyu. Can you send everyone the English test paper? He named Luo Xiaoyu. 15 students have become numb, it seems that each course will be tested once today. The final result was also not unexpected. Punish again. Explain again. Next, the science students in the college entrance examination completed their physics, chemistry, and biology exams. Students majoring in humanities in the college entrance examination have completed political, history, and geography exams. On this day, the students in the genius experimental class experienced the most brutal punishment of running on the playground in history. Until the end, the students from other classes didn't want to come and watch. They have seen enough. I almost vomited. In short, in the eyes of other students in the class, students in the genius experimental class are considered useless. Finally, school is over. This day's class experience made Zhengming curse that demon fiercely in his heart. He left Haizhou No. 5 middle school almost without looking back. He now deeply regrets that he shouldn't have promised his father to participate in the genius experimental class. It's too late to regret now. Zhengming returned home and it was already dark. The home is decorated with golden and magnificent decorations, making it a nouveau riche family. His father Zhengde, with a bald head that was even more dazzling than the light, and a strong physique, walked over shirtless. Zhengde has been doing business and opening restaurants in recent years, which has exploded quickly and earned a lot of money. It's the matter of his son studying that leaves him powerless. He spent a lot of money on his son and also hired a lot of tutors, but his son is just not very clever. Every time I take an exam, I always rank last in the class. This gave him a headache, so this time he had to force his son to participate in the genius experiment class no matter what. Son. How did you learn today? Has there been any progress in learning? Today is the first day of the genius experimental class, and Zhengde must pay attention. I didn't learn anything, so I spent the whole day doing the exam papers. Where has there been any progress? Do you really think that I'm a genius after entering the genius experimental class? Zheng Ming said impatiently. Zhengde was a bit disappointed when he heard this, but after thinking about it, it was only the first day and he shouldn't be too eager for success. He knew that his son was in the rebellious period of his youth, and if the father and son were not careful, they would burst into flames of battle, often causing him to perform violent acts. By the way, it's not without gains. Your son and I are currently experiencing a significant increase in running endurance. I estimate I will be able to participate in the city's long-distance running competition in just 2 more days of studying. Anyone can tell what Zheng Ming's words mean. Running. Zheng Dadan is staying. Your son, I have been punished, not just me, but the whole class has been punished. Zheng Ming's tone was filled with resentment, thinking that if it weren't for Dad's insistence, how could I have joined this class? Your teacher is quite strict, I think it's better to be strict. Anyway, you should study hard for me. If you can't learn well, I'll take care of you. Zhengde won't say anything about Fang Yuan. In his mind, there must be a reason why the teacher did this. Zheng Ming rolled his eyes. I knew it. Dad won't stand on my side. Sigh. Tomorrow will still be tough. Not right. Not tomorrow. That damn teacher Fang, he still needs us to review tonight, and he needs to check tomorrow. Devil. Zheng Ming couldn't help but curse again in his heart. A luxury Mercedes-Benz drove from a distance and stopped at the entrance of a detached villa in Jinquiyuan. Jinquiyuan community is a high-end residential community in Haizhou, where every villa is priceless. Wu Zhen jumped off the car, he is the eldest son of the Wu family. But no one in school knows, he is very low-key at school. Every day after school, his shuttle car is parked very far from the school. During his 3 years in high school, no one knew that he was a typical second-generation wealthy man. The detached villa is very large, with a courtyard and a total area of over 1,000 square meters. There are gardens, lawns, rockeries, swimming pools, and pavilions in the courtyard, giving off a leisurely aura of a top-tier mansion. Wu Zhenmu walked directly into the villa without straying his gaze. De Xiao, you're back. A nanny hired by the family saw him and respectfully greeted him. Wu Zhen agreed and walked straight towards the restaurant. It's dinner time now, and everyone in the family is there. As he approached the restaurant entrance, he heard the voice of a woman inside. Xiao Zhen is actually quite old. I don't think we should let him study anymore. Anyway, he's not good at studying, unlike your other son. You see how smart Xiao Jun is. Everyone is in their 3rd year of high school, and he is studying at a key high school in Haizhou. This is the hope of our Wu family. Rather than let Xiaozhen waste time at school, we'd better send him back to his hometown for exercise, or go back to his mother's side for 2 days. This woman. Saying bad things about me in front of my dad again, trying to get rid of me. Wu Zhen's eyes flickered. The woman was originally my father's mistress, but now she has turned over and become the hostess. It's frustrating that she gave birth to a son for her father, who is about the same age as him. As for his biological mother, she has been breaking up with her father for many years. Now this woman wants to drive him away so that her own biological son can inherit the Wu family. I won't let you succeed, Wu Zhen said fiercely as he slammed open the restaurant door. I walked in. P.S. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 9. Is not that difficult anymore, seeking collection and flowers. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Wu Zhen walked into the restaurant at home. Xiaozhen, have you come back? A seductive woman saw Wu Zhen appear with a cold face and was stunned, then changed to a smiling face. Dad. Wu Zhenli ignored him and just called out to a man inside the room. Another high school student in the room, who was about his age, saw him enter with a proud expression on his face and couldn't help but snort. This is the woman's son Wu Jun. Wu Jun has a reason for arrogance. During his 3 years in high school, his grades consistently surpassed those of Wu Zhen. Now he is a student in a key high school, and a month later in the college entrance examination, he will naturally surpass Wu Zhen. What are you humming? Wu Zhen will not target women, but he is not polite to her son. I heard you attended a genius experimental class. Hee, your grades, genius. 100 genius experimental classes are useless. Wu Jun sneered. The woman listened with a smile on her side, but did not speak to dissuade. It's none of your business. Wu Zhen said coldly. All right. Everyone eat, don't argue anymore. It was my decision for Xiao Zhen to go to the genius experimental class. How did you learn today? Dad finally spoke up. It's pretty good, the teacher taught well. Wu Zhen answered with a stiff face. Then continue to work hard. Dad glanced at Wu Zhen and still felt a hint of disappointment towards him. My son didn't lie, he could tell at a glance. Wu Zhen pursed his lips and remained silent. Luo Xiaoyu returned home. Her family is a very ordinary one, even worse than ordinary families. The room is very small, even a bit shabby. At this moment, Mrs. Luo is still sitting in the living room, repairing clothes for the guests. During the day, she has to work, and at night, she does these small jobs at home to make ends meet. Luo Xiaoyu is a single-parent family and has never seen her father since childhood. Her personality is a bit quiet, she is also very obedient at home, and she works hard at school. Her grades are not bad, but they are also not good. Getting into college is not a problem, but what she wants is to get into a good university. She volunteered to join the genius experimental class, and she even convinced Luo Mama to do so. Mom. I'll help you. Luo Xiaoyu put down his backpack and walked over, ready to help his mother with her work. She is already very proficient in this matter. Usually, when she comes home from school, she helps Luo Mama finish the work before reviewing her homework. You go wash your hands. Let's eat first. There won't be much work today, I can finish it alone. The food is still hot in the pot. If it's not hot, you can heat it up. Luo Mama looked at her daughter affectionately. She has been smart and sensible since childhood. It's okay, I'm not hungry yet. Luo Xiaoyu didn't listen to her and still helped on the side. Mom Luo thought that today's work was about to be finished, so she let it go. Xiaoyu, tell Mom, is the teacher teaching well? The mother and daughter worked while talking. The lecture was quite good, with many key points covered each time. Luo Xiaoyu thought for a moment and said. She didn't say that this teacher likes corporal punishment, but saying these things would only make my mother worried. This kind of conversation is happening at the homes of 15 genius experimental class students. Leroy, what did the teacher teach you today? Every day, how was your teacher teaching today? He Haoran, tell us about the situation after work. Parents ask different questions, but their meanings are similar. They are all concerned about whether their children have made progress. But all parents were disappointed, not a single child claimed to have made significant progress in their studies. The first day of the Genius experimental class. It seems ordinary. 15 students finished dinner and began to review their homework according to Fang Yuan's instructions. Tonight, the distant arrangement above is to review mathematics. Zhengming sat in the study and casually picked up a math book. He hates mathematics very much, and he basically doesn't want to listen to what the teacher says because he can't understand it. Every time he picks up a math book, he feels like sleeping. For him, math is the best tool for hypnosis. At this moment, he is holding a high school math book in his hand. Take a look. Tomorrow we also have to deal with that demon. To avoid being fined to run off the playground again. Zhengming thought of this and turned a page. This chapter is about the inclination angle and slope of a straight line. He looked at 2 lines casually. And then. Zhengming's eyes gradually widened. Something's wrong. He feels something is wrong. He used to not understand this chapter, but now he realizes that he can actually read it and understand the content in the book. Damn it. Zhengming looked up, rubbed his eyes, lowered his head, and looked again. Really, I understood the textbook content myself. He really understood. Zhengming thought for a moment and reopened a page, which was even more difficult than the previous content. In the past, he basically skipped it. Now. He read a few lines. He was surprised to find that he understood it again. Zhengming's breathing worsened, and he knew better than anyone what it meant. I have an epiphany, I can actually understand mathematics that I didn't know before. At this moment. Mom is calling him outside. Zhengming, your phone number. Zhengming walked out of the study and the phone was called by Wu Zhen. Zhengming. Are you looking at mathematics? Wu Zhen's voice is a bit unusual on the phone. I was just watching. Zhengming's heart skipped a beat. Have you noticed? Mathematics. Mathematics isn't that difficult anymore. Wu Zhen's voice decreased slightly. Zhengming remained silent, his breathing becoming a bit rapid. Speaking. Why don't you speak? Have you ever noticed? Wu Zhen is a bit anxious over there. Zhengming still remained silent. I just want to confirm. It seems like I'm just the one. This is my illusion. Wu Zhen was a bit disappointed and thought he had made a big discovery. He was ready to put down the phone. You're not an illusion. Me. I also understand. This time, Zhengming finally spoke up. P.S. Seeking collection, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation new books, seeking everyone's support Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th. Chapter 10 Common Secrets. Seeking collection and flowers. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. You're not an illusion, I understand it too. Zhengming said to Wu Zhen. What are you saying? Wait a moment. That means I'm not alone. Wu Zhen suddenly clenched the phone again. That teacher Fang. It seems. It's not easy. Zhengming actually didn't want to say that, but he still spoke up. Today is the day. He has a violent aura and is eager to explode. But now he has a different feeling in his heart. That demon. I seem to have misread him. Humph, this is the Genius experimental class. Those who curse at us. Ha, I really want to laugh. Wu Zhen couldn't control himself on the phone. He was grateful that he had joined the Genius experimental class. That's it. I won't say it anymore. I'll watch math for a while longer. Zhengming didn't laugh. Today is just the first day, and for him, the college entrance examination is still very difficult. However, his heart gradually had a glimmer of hope, a hazy hope that had never existed before. He clenched his fist. Yes. You're right. Stop talking, I'll go see math too. The two hung up the phone and continued their review. That night, not only did they make a discovery, but other students from the Genius Experimental class also made a difference. Luo Xiaoyu sat in the living room, with clear eyes and pursed her lips. Demon teacher, you are really different. Your teaching style is very unique, it's really unique. Yes, my leg hurts a bit. She thought of this, and a slight smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. Li Rui. Zhang Tian Tian. He Haoren. Everyone's hearts. Or surprised. Or surprise. Or excited. Or happy. But everyone keeps this emotion in their hearts and doesn't let the parents know. It seems. This is everyone's common secret. The next day. 15 students arrived early in the classroom. The demon teacher Fang Yuan has not arrived yet. Everyone glanced at each other. Very tacitly, they smiled knowingly at each other. How will demon teacher teach today? They have a small expectation in their hearts. Yesterday's dissatisfaction. Yesterday's anger. Yesterday's anger. This moment is gone. Yu Sha sat at the end, silently observing the group of students, and she noticed that everyone seemed to have changed. At least emotionally, there is less resistance. She was a bit strange, she didn't notice how outstanding Fang Yuan's performance was yesterday, at most it was strict. So. How could everyone experience such emotional changes? She needs further observation. The bell for class rings. Fang Yuan walked into the classroom on time. He is in a good mood. During yesterday's training, his system score has reached 500 points. Although there is still a long way to go before the opening of the 10,000-point system mall, this is still considered the beginning. A little makes a lot, and he believes he will definitely reach 10,000 points. He wants to see what products are available in the system mall. Fang Yuan looked down at the audience, and the eyes of 15 students were all looking at him. Why is this gaze a bit hot? Is that so? Have these students already felt progress? Fang Yuan remained silent. Yesterday I said I wanted you to go back and review math. We need to check today. Have you reviewed yet? He asked lightly. Teacher Fang, we have reviewed. 15 students answer together. Very good. So let's start with the math exam today. Also, there is only 1 hour left. After 1 hour, I will answer the questions and submit the paper. Those who are not satisfied will be punished. Fang Yuan took out his math paper. His approach is no different from yesterday, just taking an exam, explaining, taking another exam, and continuing to explain. Wu Zhen took the initiative to take over the math exam, which was his task. Everyone immediately started working on the questions. Zheng Ming looked down at the exam paper. The first multiple-choice question, I read the relevant content last night and can do it. The second multiple-choice question, I also read the relevant content last night and can do it. I missed the third multiple-choice question last night, so I'll put it aside for now. The fourth path, the fifth path, he feels that his math today is definitely better than yesterday's. Wu Zhen is also looking at the question. This question is so simple, why didn't I know how to do it before? And this question, with this calculation, the answer comes out. This question is the same, I reviewed it all last night. His lips twitched, and today I want to impress Teacher Fang. I will definitely do better than yesterday's exam. This feeling is felt in every student's heart. No one spoke. Just the pen in my hand seems to become smoother than before. The rustling sound composed a beautiful symphony in the classroom. An hour passed and the test paper was returned. Fang Yuan, like yesterday, rested while he began on site grading of the exam papers. Before the break was over, everyone sat back in the classroom. Today will be different. Everyone thinks this way, they expect Fang Yuan to say something different from yesterday. But I have completed grading the math paper. From now on, I'm not satisfied with all of your grades. That is to say, you will all be punished. Fang Yuan still issued a punishment and continued to make everyone run circles. Demon teacher. It hasn't changed at all. 15 students stood up and walked out of the classroom, willingly accepting the punishment. Similarly, they are being watched again. Ha! The students from the genius experimental class have come out for a run again. I ran a few times yesterday, haven't I had enough of it yet? Let me calculate. Yesterday morning was twice, and in the afternoon was 3 times. Oh my goodness, I ran 10,000 meters this day. It seems like today is also similar. Whoever becomes your teacher will definitely vomit blood and anger. Why not change the name of the Genius Experimental class to Genius Long Distance Running Class? You can recommend participating in the long-distance running competition. Puff. The name Genius Long Distance Running Class is great. 15 Genius Experimental class students turned a deaf ear to these words. They gradually got used to it. Especially Wu Zhen, he even grinned at everyone. You see, he's still happy. Such students are also hopeless. Forget it, I'm going back to class. It's like this every day, and I don't have much interest anymore. The onlookers dispersed in disappointment. On the school playground, 15 students running figures remain once again. The day of the Genius Experimental class. Just like this, day by day, it seems to pass smoothly. In the blink of an eye, it was already the last day. During this period, the daily running on the playground for 15 students remained almost unchanged. No matter how hard they try, Fang Yuan will always be that sentence. Not satisfied. I am very dissatisfied. This has almost become Fang Yuan's catchphrase. 15 students have gradually adapted to this punishment, and now they are not used to running every day. Everyone is holding back, only they know how amazing their academic progress has been during this period. And none of them said anything about these advances. I didn't say it at home. The school doesn't know either. The Genius Experimental class is completely independent from other classes and is a separate small group. They are just holding back, waiting for the moment when they soar to the sky. As the exam approached in 10 days, their hearts became increasingly excited. Fang Yuan continued to punish and watched everyone running upstairs. Besides him, Principal Guo Yanhai is also upstairs watching. It's already the 10th day. Tomorrow is the time for inspection. He is uncertain about the effectiveness of the Genius Experimental class. Next to Guo Yanhai stands the English teacher whom Fang Yuan knows. Principal, this won't work. Teacher Fang only knows how to physically punish, which is still an inexperienced expression. I admit his own grades are good, but he still can't be a teacher. The English teacher has been observing for many days, and finally couldn't help but come to find Guo Yanhai again. She still doesn't trust the students in the Genius Experimental class. Anyway, these are also students from Haizhou No. 5 Middle School, and their college entrance examination scores will also be counted above Haizhou No. 5 Middle School. Do you have any suggestions? Guo Yanhai was also a bit worried in his heart, so he asked. The English teacher shook her head, feeling extremely disappointed. I don't have any suggestions. I just hope for tomorrow's exam. Students' grades should not drop too much, so that the school can strengthen remedial measures. P.S. Seeking collections, seeking flowers, seeking evaluation. Please cast your vote, flower vote, evaluation vote, all kinds of votes, urgently needed. Once again, thank you all. Qingming outing in happy reading. Charge 100 and get 500 VIP coupons. Immediate recharge, activity period. April 4th to April 6th.